Chances are you've got one in your wallet right now. You probably use it almost every day. But do we really, truly understand how it works? I'm talking, of course, about the credit card. It's this weirdly powerful tool that can, build a future or completely break it. In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers on this little piece of plastic to look at the hidden world of consumer debt. And we're going to expose how some cards might actually be designed for you to fail. Okay, let's just start with a number that, honestly, it's pretty staggering. 78.4%. That is the percentage of people in a recent debt study who said the stress from their debt led directly to anxiety or depression. So right away you can see this isn't just about money. It's a massive hidden mental health crisis. And this quote from that same study, man, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures that feeling of being completely trapped, where every single dollar you make is already spoken for by something you bought yesterday. This is the reality for millions of people. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. What does this debt reality actually look like on paper? When you break down the numbers, one type of debt stands way, way out from the rest. And it might not be the one you think. Wow, look at this. When people are in so much trouble that they need professional help, credit card debt is the #1 reason. I mean, it's not even close. At over 57%, it's bigger than student loans, tax debt, and lines of credit all put together. This isn't just a small part of the problem, it is the problem. And that really sets the stage for everything we're about to uncover. So, how does this happen? How does a simple tool lead to so much trouble? Well, we have to look at this hidden little mechanic that honestly, most people don't really get. It's called the grace period. And it sounds like a good thing, like a safety net, but it can turn into a trap so fast. Okay, so the definition seems straightforward enough, right? Your credit card company gives you a little window of time, usually it's about 21 to 30 days, to pay off what you bought without getting hit with any interest. It's the secret to using a credit card for free. But there's always a but. There's a catch. And here it is. This is the catch, and it is the single most important rule of the credit card game. The grace period only works if you pay your statement balance in full every single month. The second you carry even one single dollar over to the next month, that grace period vanishes. Poof, it's gone. And what that means is every new thing you buy, groceries, gas, a coffee, it starts collecting interest from the very second you swipe the card. There is no more grace. And this is where the cost becomes absolutely devastating. Just look at this. For a $20,000 debt, if you're just making minimum payments, on a normal card, it'll take you almost 28 years to pay off, and you'll pay more in interest than you originally owed. But on one of those high-interest store cards, it would take 73 years to pay off, and you'd pay almost $100,000 in interest. That's the brutal power of compounding interest when that grace period is gone. So this all leads to a really uncomfortable question. What if this isn't an accident? What if some of these cards are specifically engineered to make sure you lose that grace period? To make sure you get caught in that interest trap? Just think about that for a second. Is the card in your wallet a helpful tool that's on your side, or is it a product that's designed to make money from you being in debt? Because when you start to really look at the fine print on certain cards, you start to see a pattern. And this is where the design becomes crystal clear. These cards are aimed at people with bad credit, promising them a second chance. But look at these terms. The interest rates, the APRs are at a jaw-dropping 36%. That's often the legal limit. And it's not just the interest. They hit you with program fees, processing fees, even monthly fees. It's death by 1,000 cuts. So let me walk you through how this trap actually snaps shut. Let's say you get one of these cards with a $300 limit. Right off the bat, you're slammed with fees that eat up most of your credit before you've even bought anything. Then, if you carry that $300 balance for just over a year, you'll end up paying over $340 in fees and interest. Think about that. You paid more to borrow the money than the money you actually borrowed. It's wild. So why does a system like this even exist? And more importantly, is it changing? To figure that out, we need to pull back the curtain and look at the business model for the whole credit card industry and see how new kids on the block are starting to shake things up. This chart basically explains everything. The industry has names for us, by the way. If you carry a balance, you're a revolver. If you pay it off every month, you're a transactor. Now look, the revolvers, the people carrying debt, they make up about 60% of accounts, but they generate up to 90% of the revenue. Let's just be blunt about it. The industry's profits depend on people being trapped in debt. But that old model is being challenged. You've seen them everywhere. Buy now, pay later services. They are absolutely exploding. If we look at what happened in Australia, the trend is so clear. As these BNPL accounts shot up by 40% a year, credit card accounts actually went down. People are actively choosing to borrow in a different way. And a huge reason for this shift is, well, it's us. It's demographics. Younger people, who are just starting to build credit, are flocking to these new services. They seem to prefer these straightforward, predictable payment plans over the old credit card model that for decades relied on hooking young adults early. Okay, so after all of that, you might be feeling a little down, wondering what you can possibly do if you feel stuck in a trap like this. But here is the good news. There are much, much smarter and safer ways to build or rebuild your financial life. Let's talk solutions. So instead of reaching for one of those high-fee predatory cards, you can take control with way smarter tools. Things like credit builder loans or secured cards, where you basically put down a deposit that becomes your credit limit, put you back in the driver's seat. There are nonprofit credit counselors who can give you a roadmap. And yeah, there are even good, reputable, unsecured cards designed to help you rebuild without all the hidden traps. And that brings us right back to where we started, the human side of all this. This quote from someone who fought their way out of debt, it just says it all. Taking back control of your finances isn't just about spreadsheets and interest rates. It's about getting your future back. It is, like they said, life-changing. So here's the bottom line. Knowledge is power. The credit system is a game. It's got very specific rules, and for a long time, the house had a huge advantage because, well, they wrote the rule book. But now you know the rules. You know about the grace period trap, you know how to spot a predatory offer, and you know there are better options out there. The system might be designed a certain way, but now you have the knowledge to design your own way forward.